There are true crime cases that pop up and you just see them snowball into the popular media. Like, there's no indicator. I know that there has been, speculation, or maybe if this person is from this background, it'll be this way, or this one, or whatever. Over the past 6 months, I can point out different instances that have happened in different communities all over the United States that have fallen into that news cycle that it just perpetuates the story.
Yeah.
This one is like something that could have been in a movie or something.
I'm not familiar with this case. Unless we start watching it, then I'm like, oh, I did see that article or something.
This story being a video that Mike did.
Yeah.
This is that chapter, of course. We were talking about the story before then, and I was like, this is happening right now, and Mike just did a video with that chapter, and it's something we need to check out, because if you don't know anything about it, I don't see how you missed it, but you need to see, like, I know what happens. I saw this happen in real time.
But you haven't watched this
I have not seen this video. Yeah.
Right.
I've not seen his take on it. And so I'm sure there's things that I missed. But from what I already know, holy shit, dude. This shit just got crazy. Because when the news first broke, it seemed like something completely different than what has actually taken place. And it's just crazy enough at face value. So, without me just going on and on and on about it, I'm ready to see how this video was put together, and I can't wait to see how you react to the unraveling of this story.
Okay, let's jump into it.
Are you ready? Let's do it.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we are doing today is looking at a crazy story right out of Alabama. I know, right? This story was just about everywhere, and now it's here. And it happened right when I was on a vacation. So it was a lot of fun to catch up on, and you were seeing the results of that. It's the story of Vicky and Casey. Not married, nor related, though I bet they wish they could have changed that, which part you decide. But they decided to go on a legger together.
What?
What happened? Well, let's give it a go.
That was fucked up.
In northern Alabama lies Lauderdale County, to set the scene. Not that it really matters, though, because the story doesn't stay there for long. And we're talking about a detention center, which is not exactly indicative of the area, but, well. Florence is the county seat, nicknamed Alabama's Renaissance City, and much like its namesake, is along a river, is filled with stunning architecture, deep history, and exquisite
Dairy Queen.
cuisine. Seems great. Big thumbs up from you, boy. When I think of Florence, I think of Alabama. Moving on. Located at 635 South Seminary Street is the Lauderdale County Jail. Woo! Besides the Florence Popo Department, and some factories and other shite. It has a capacity of about 200 inmates. But, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it has the capacity for love. And we will get into that. But first, how about we get into them? At the Lauderdale County Jail, right, the Director of Corrections is a lad named Jason Butler, and the Assistant Director is a woman named Vicky White. In 2022, Vicky Sue Davis White was 56 years of age, and had been with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office for 25 years, and the Department of Corrections for almost 17. But at this stage, though, she was getting ready to hang it all up. Retirement, baby, and she was not keeping that news to herself. She was talking about going to Florida, having a little drink on the beach, all the hits, all the good ones, And she was well liked by everyone. She was described as an exemplary employee. Not anymore. In 2022, she was about to be honored as, this is a mouthful, the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department of Corrections Employee of the Year for a 5th time. Yes, 5 big ones in the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office Department of Corrections. Doesn't get any better than that. She had been married once before. In 2002, she married a lad named Tommy White. They had known each other since they were kids. However, the marriage didn't last too long. In 2006, Vicky divorced him, citing his drug use. They would, however, maintain a close relationship, with Tommy actually developing Parkinson's disease, and Vicky would become his kind of partial caregiver. Vicky would remain close friends with him in the, 15 years after they married. He did pass away, though, in January 2022 from complications arising from Parkinson's, and you gotta kind of wonder, even though they hadn't been married for like 15 years, they still remained close friends. Like, they had known each other since they were kids, so you gotta wonder if her ex-husband passing, who she was cared for, affected her, maybe more than she let on.
Absolutely.
In the 5 weeks leading up to the 29th of April 2022, Vicky had been living with her mother. Living with her mother because she had sold her home. A large, sprawling house with a barn and all in Lexington, about 30 minutes from Florence. Sold her home for 40% of what it was worth. Less than half. In this economy? And so, towards the end of April 2022, she had been withdrawing a large amount of cash from banks. She got 90 grand for that house, and she had been, in the process of retiring. Well, she actually just handed in her retirement papers on the 28th of April 2022, but she had been yapping away about it for some time. And she had sold almost everything she had. She also had been shopping for men's clothes and at an adult store. Naughty dog. She also bought an AR-15 and a shotgun.
What?
Not only that, she bought an orange 2007 Ford Edge under a false name.
She planned some stuff.
On the 28th of April, the night before, the day of, she had stayed at a Quality Inn hotel in Florence and positioned her new car, the Ford Edge, in the car park of the Florence Square Shopping Center. And then in the early morning of the 29th of April, she said she locked her keys in her car and called a colleague for a ride to work into the correctional facility the morning of the 29th.
Getaway. Somebody in the jail.
So why was she doing all that? Why was she preparing for something? Well, in October 2020, one prisoner was moved to the Lauderdale County Jail just for like a little bit. And his name was Casey White. No relation, by the way, to either Tommy or Vicky, though Casey White and Vicky White did have a special relationship. In 2022, Casey White was 38 years old. Are we sure he's 38? He looks like shit. The criminal history of this almost 7 foot tall, big fucking lumbering gobshite, it goes back and he was a very dangerous man. By 2012, Casey had already spent 3 years in prison for beating up his brother with an axe, the blunt end. But it really kicked off for him in 2015, when he was 31 years of age. On the night of the 2nd of December 2015, he thought it would be a great idea, a real light bulb moment, if he broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, murdered her dog, and then held her and her 2 roommates hostage.
Hell no!
He thought it was such a great idea, he followed up on it, which led him to abandoning the hostages, stealing a car, then attempting to hijack a truck, and failing, and then shooting a woman and attempting to steal her car.
Look, calm down for me, brother. Calm down, all right? Casey, the sheriff will be here in just a minute. Can you put the gun down? Put the gun down, and it's no need in all this. The sheriff... I'm listening. I'm here. I want to talk to you.
He failed in all of this and was arrested, but he was successful in getting convicted and 75 years. So hence why he was incarcerated. Right, but how did he end up in the Lauderdale County Jail? He was already convicted. Shouldn't he be in prison, not jail? Well, he was back in jail because he was now on trial for murder. See, while in prison, he confessed to a murder. Connie Ridgway was, in 2015, 58 years old. A lovely, sweet lady living in Rogersville, roughly 30 minutes east of Florence. A neighbor, worrying about not having seen her, requested a welfare check. And in the house, the police found her stabbed to death. The murder of Connie Ridgway, it remained unsolved for years, until after, Casey White was convicted for, trying to kill his girlfriend and doing essentially GTA, the game. Well, he wrote a letter to one of the investigators saying he had killed Connie Ridgway and he'd been paid to do it.
Almost 5 years after Connie Ridgway was killed in her home at Meadowland Apartments in Rogersville, a grand jury indicted Casey Cole White on 2 counts of capital murder for her death.
Till June, it had been a whodunit, and we now know who did it.
He later pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, apparently, and that's why he was in jail in the Lauderdale County Detention Center. He was going on trial for that murder, and the authorities felt the trial would not end well for him. A trial scheduled for April 2022, but got bumped to June. And just to mention, it's like a little tidbit here of something else in Casey White's history, an ex-girlfriend of his blew a hole in her own chest in Casey's mother's house, and it was ruled a suicide. Yeah, you can believe that. Now people are doubting if it was a suicide. On the 1st of February 2008,
usually not
Christy
how that works.
Shelton was shot in the chest with a sawn-off shotgun inside Casey's mother's house. And he was there at the time. The circumstances are kind of murky, so not exactly sure what happened. But, yeah.
I'd never heard about that.
And so, it was during an arraignment for Connie Ridgway's murder in October 2020 that he bumped into Vicky White, assistant director at the facility. What sprung from that and why they kind of hit it off, no one's exactly sure. Romantic, it seems so, but they definitely had a special little relationship. Like, for example, he would get more food, more privileges, and he was only in that jail in October 2020 for a short time. He was then moved back to his prison, but they stayed in contact, and then he was back in the Lauderdale County Jail again in April 2022. The 29th of April 2022. That day was a Friday. It was the court's busiest day. A lot of shit going on. That morning, after checking out of the Quality Inn Motel at 5:21 a.m., at about 9:30 a.m., Vicky had cleared the detention center of most other deputies with a variety of excuses. And she said that Casey White, he had a mental health evaluation scheduled at the courthouse that morning, and she was a bit of an upset tummy. So after she dropped him off at the courthouse, she was going to go to a doctor's and have a looky-see. She pulled up her car, and in got the big man. Now, police required 2 deputies accompany inmates, but not this time. They left at 9:31 on the dot. And so, as morning faded to afternoon, questions were asked.
Why would you pick him? Like, why would you pick any of them? But
they went straight to her voicemail. Where's Casey? Shouldn't they be back by now? What time was his mental health evaluation scheduled at? Exactly. Oh shit, he wasn't scheduled to have one that morning. And so, with a 6-hour head start, together, the cop and the con disappeared. Vicky, the mastermind, Casey, the master manipulator, if I had to guess. Jeez, and at first, they just disappeared. No one was sure what exactly happened. Was Vicky a hostage, or was she willing? Pretty soon, it looked like she was pretty willing. And so the hunt began. What I will describe now is what the police were able to put together in the following days. It seems that first they drove together to the Florence Square parking lot and got into Vicky's new Ford, dumping the patrol car. Then they made their way out of town.
We know she participated. Now whether she did that willingly or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in this escape, not really sure.
Vicky White now charged with permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. Friday, she left the Lauderdale County Detention Center with inmate Casey White for a courthouse appearance that authorities now say did not exist. The 56-year-old was a 17-year corrections department veteran and current jail supervisor who broke department policy transporting Casey White by herself. Authorities say she also claimed she was going to go to the doctor after court, but they found no evidence she went. Friday also set to be her last day after she submitted retirement papers the day before.
Right.
Wow.
That's the thing that trips me out.
And have worked with her for years. This is not the Vicky White we know, by any stretch of the imagination.
The escape sparking a nationwide manhunt for the pair, who are not related. According to the sheriff, surveillance video shows Vicky White's patrol car at 9:49 a.m. Friday, 8 minutes after the two left the jail at an intersection
She
that
knows
authorities say
better.
was not on the way to the courthouse.
There was not enough time for them to even attempt to try to come to the courthouse and then get out there and be at that red light 8 minutes later.
The two reported missing nearly 6 hours later.
The authorities' next lead, as hundreds of tips came in, sightings, all that, the next real lead came a few days later, when a tow truck driver from Tennessee called saying he had towed the Ford Edge they had escaped in. It had been abandoned the same day they escaped, the 29th. Sometime that night, it's understood the car essentially broke down. This was in Bethesda, Williamson County, Tennessee, talking about a 2-hour drive north, a small, unincorporated community. And so from there, where? See, the authorities were afraid. Casey had said multiple times that if he ever got out of prison, he would go after his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, the one he tried to kill. And so they were like, well, now he's out. Maybe he'll follow up on what he said. She actually went into hiding.
Her message to Vicky White right now, if she's alive, she needs to run. Get away from Casey White right now. And this woman understands exactly why law enforcement describes White as armed and extremely dangerous, warning law officers across the country to be very careful because he has nothing to lose.
Casey White is very dangerous. He's dangerous to everybody that is around him. And it's a scary situation.
In prison, he had said if he ever got out, she'd be toast. And he had also said, on the record, he wanted the police to kill him. He wanted to go out in a hail of bullets. And so, when you combine that, and not only with Vicky's
seems like a winner.
Sidearm,
seems like I want to help
shotgun
him.
She bought, well, that ain't great. They also had a lot of money. The 90 grand Vicky had just gotten from selling her house. And Vicky was also known to be quite frugal. She was a great little saver, so money, they could be on the lam for a while.
Complete shock. That's how Vicky White's mother, Pat Davis, describes what's been going through her head ever since her daughter disappeared with accused murderer Casey White Friday morning.
Warrants and rewards were issued for both Casey and Vicky. The next sighting will come on the 3rd of May. They had been on the run for 4 days. Now, this was at a car wash in Evansville, Indiana. Wineback Car Wash. So now, even further, this was 3 hours from Bethesda on the far side of Nashville. It seems they abandoned one vehicle there at that car wash, one purchased in Tennessee for 6 grand after the original broke down, and police found that at the car wash.
Damn.
So it seems they abandoned their second car at the car wash and got into a 3rd car, a stolen car.
Damn.
No paperwork. That's everything's in a little bit of trash, and there's a charger and a Glock magazine loader. It's weird.
In fact, Evansville, Indiana, is straight where Vicky and Casey had gone. They were there on the 2nd of May, checking into a Motel 41. They paid a homeless guy to do it for them so they wouldn't be spotted. And to get to your motel room, you didn't have to walk through the lobby or anything. You could access it directly from the car park. And so the staff there never spotted them. And so they stayed there for a week and had planned on staying there for another before what happened on the 9th of May. Alright, a patrol officer with the Evansville Police Department. He ran plates on a car he saw parked at the Motel 41. The plates were from the stolen car the couple were now driving, and it matched. The police started
steal a
staking out
car
the motel,
when you're trying to run
and
away from
just
the
after
cops.
6 p.m., they saw the Whites leave the motel room, get into their car, and drive off. Hot pursuit began. This went on till ultimately they were forced off the road by a police truck just on the outskirts of town.
Damn.
It seems that sometime during that whole kind of police chase and right at the end, Vicky called 911. Not exactly too sure why. She never speaks to the operator, but you can hear her and Casey talking. Play.
Amazon Island. 911. Hello?
John. Airbags are going off. Let's get out and run. Get back to the hotel.
Hello?
It's a big man.
He's huge.
Got her finger on the trigger.
Oh no.
Straight in? Yeah. I don't know how we're going to take right. Oh, he's right here. Right here.
We need to clear some of this shit out of the way so we can get out of here.
Okay.
She shot herself.
Davis, you good? You need anything?
Still got it in her hand. I don't know.
Got the gun in her hand?
Yeah, she's got a gun.
All right, watch it.
She's still breathing.
I mean,
Okay.
she knows.
Yeah.
Yes, still breathing.
Would it be better if we try to pull the vehicle back? Would it be safer? Let the fire guy.
So, their car was driven off the road into a ditch and surrounded by cops. Casey White was dragged out, patted over, and booked. Vicky wasn't too keen on facing the music, and so she shot herself in the head in the car. Inside the car were multiple weapons and about $29,000. That's of the $90,000 they'd started out with. That didn't last too long. In the motel
How
room,
much?
wigs.
90.
In
How
fact,
much
it looked
did
like
they
they
end
had
up
stopped
with?
there
Like
for
20.
so long as they thought they were far enough away from Florence and were now plotting their next move.
Oh my god.
Now, it's obvious why Casey did what he did. It's not so obvious why Vicky did what she
I
did,
don't get it.
Though when he was arrested, Casey referred to Vicky as his wife.
Yeah.
So that'll
I
give
think
you a
that's
clue.
all it was.
So Casey, you know, how into her he really was and how into being free he really was. Which one was it, Casey? You say when? It seems that Casey did actually intend to go out in a hail of bullets. That was the plan for him, to start unloading on the cops and get rid of them. But it seems that, you know, when the cops drove their car into the ditch and they crashed, well, that ended, you know, that dream. Anyway, the whole thing was referred to as a jailhouse romance. I hear the doves already. They did fairly well, to be honest. I mean, they should have left Evansville as soon as they abandoned the car, but still, it's not bad for two people whose faces were everywhere. They, well, Vicky had been plotting it for a while, selling all her stuff. A few days before, she'd even taken Casey out once again alone for 40 minutes. A trial run. apparently.
Vicky White took steps on Tuesday before the successful escape on Friday to try a dry run of this escape.
And allegedly the theory the police were going off was that because Casey was so tall, 6'9", he'd get spotted immediately. Big guy. So the theory they were going off was that he would be in a wheelchair while Vicky would push him, in a wheelchair, and she'd be dressed with a wig to make her look like an old woman. So Casey would be sitting down, so he wouldn't be so tall, and he was also dressed as a woman. That would be funny if it wasn't so. Actually, no, it's still pretty funny. Casey was charged with escape in the 1st degree, and won't be escaping again. Vicky, it's sad she didn't see any other way out. And I've had to guess Casey was pretty much just using her to try and make a run for it. He seems like the manipulative sort. That's what everybody said about him, as a very dangerous individual. Vicky, maybe, a lonely woman at this stage, probably fell for this manipulator, maybe easily enough.
Like he's gonna answer these questions? I don't understand.
She worked for and stood for. Described as an exemplary employee her entire life. It's sad it ended in such a way. So Casey, charged with escape in the 1st degree. I'm sure there will probably be other charges related to this, but he still has the upcoming murder trial that he has to stand for, which, by the way, could end up with, death. Try flirting with lethal injection, bucko. Well, that's the story of how Vicky and Casey White went on the run and ran out of time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to do so and be here with this guy, back with me. Here, listen, what else? Oh, hope you enjoyed the video on the art of hiring fake human under part 2 coming. Actually, I want to make that kind of try out more of those kind of videos, which does mean sometimes there might not be 2 videos a week. Sometimes it might just be 1 a week, because I kind of want to experiment a little bit more, and it takes a little bit of time. So if most of the time there'll nearly always be 2 videos a week, but if there is only 1 video and there's no video on Friday, don't worry, not going anywhere. Just taking a bit of time to try something new. But I'll always be around. So I'll see you as always real soon in the next one. Alright, please, again, look after yourselves. I love you. Bye, Kev.
I thought watching this video would help me answer a little bit more of the questions why, and I think it did.
Okay.
Okay, so I've seen in a lot of people, I've been guilty of it myself, and I'm sure you have to a certain degree, but when it comes to having a relationship and focusing way too much on that in your life, you can get lost in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that she literally had nothing in her life that tickled her fancy.
Yep.
And she turned this fantasy into what it was until the reality of the situation caught up to her.
That's what I was thinking as well. I'm not even 30 yet, and I'm already like, wow, sometimes I just get really bored of life, and something crazy would be fun, right? Okay, so not you, not my pets, not, it's just like, wow,
something
we do this thing. Yeah, so, maybe there are better choices than letting a murderer woo you, and you sell
gigantic murderer.
Well, maybe that's what she was.
Maybe. I mean, obviously there was a lot. She threw everything away for that.
This is also why a good, I don't even know if I should go into this, but this is also why prostitution should be legal, because she's in her 50s. So yeah, she's in her 50s. She's just bored. She does her job very well.
Single.
She's single. She's getting ready to retire. She has all these things going for her.
Yeah.
But maybe she doesn't have anything going for her.
So think she just needs that thing.
I mean, then you got this. I mean, he's ugly, but
for her.
But I mean,
let's be real, man.
I don't know. She's not unattractive. I don't think she's an unattractive lady. She's just, doing her thing. And then you got this big 7-foot Man, I don't know. I don't know, but I think that he wooed her,
He
and
looks like
she.
Lurch. This guy looks like Lurch from the Addams Family. You rang.
Yeah, he does.
Motherfucker look like stretched
His
out John
ears
Cena
were very
with them
big.
big ass.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, there's just no other explanation. Like, unless you were like on some crazy drugs or something, but she wouldn't have been able to pull off what she was doing. There's just no other reason why I would see that you would do that. I think she was bored she wanted some spice in her life, and there are other ways to do it.
You're gonna have to cut this probably, but she got stigmatized.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. She worked there for 17 years.
Bro.
So why hadn't it happened before then?
Why?
I think her not partner passed away. She's getting ready to retire. What is she gonna do next? Like, what she doesn't know.
She fell in love with that guy.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Love makes you do crazy shit.
Sure.
A little bit more crazy than anything I would have ever done, but it makes you do crazy. I mean, she's a 56-year-old woman. You know who she reminds me a lot of? The lady from 90 Day Fiancé, Michael?
Angela.
I could see Angela from 90 Day Fiancé doing some shit like this.
She's from Georgia, but yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just, I'm a hard-working woman. I deserve this. I'm sure she felt like she deserves love.
And she was so worthy of love. She had all of the things that she had worked very hard for in her life. She was great at her job.
But I got to cut you off, though. Because she took this man who has murdered people and said, their justice doesn't fucking count as much as I deserve to be loved. Because she knows what her job means.
Yeah.
She knows what that situation is. She took someone out who took people's lives away, multiple people's lives away.
Yeah.
Because her love was more important than their justice.
Her needs.
It was extremely selfish. No matter how giving you've been your entire life, that one moment of fuck these people, now I'm taking from people and I don't care in what way, you've just discredited all of that.
Right. Yeah.
You know? I mean, so to me, she's a fucking idiot. She's evil. She did something awful.
Damn, Chad.
Well, I mean, dude, this guy, because of what she did, who's to say he wouldn't kill somebody else
I know,
again?
that's what I'm saying. I'm
she
surprised.
Got ammunition and guns for someone who she knew wanted to go out by getting killed by the police and
wanted to go kill his girlfriend.
No.
Well, ex-girlfriend.
No. I mean, we will never know the full details, but the way that this whole story adds up to me, there was a moment where this person who had done a lot of good in this world decided that they were going to say fuck all to every bit of that and do some real evil.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
He could have killed somebody at that hotel if he thought they were going to give him away. He could have. I mean, when you're dealing with somebody who has nothing to lose, like they said, they could do anything to anybody. You know?
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know how good of a manipulator he could have been to be like, sell just everything that you've worked hard for, just fucking flush it.
Every bit of it, even your life.
For me.
Yeah. And I'm surprised.
Because she would be living really well right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm surprised that he didn't take her out when she had already gotten him free. Once they were out and in another vehicle with all that money and the guns and shit, I'm surprised. But she was too helpful for him. Yeah. I'm sure she was just coming up with great ideas to keep him. She was a caretaker, I'm sure. She took care of people her whole life, it seemed. And then here's this opportunity to fuck it all up and get taken advantage of. And a master manipulator who's cold-blooded with no empathy did it. And lived to tell
I know. That's
just
what's crazy.
Around, I'm back in my jumpsuit again. Look at me. I'm tall. Like, what a fucking douche,
But for her, like, as fucked up as it is, like, I totally expected her to do what she did in the car. It's horrific that the other people had to witness that and be right there.
Trying to talk her out of it, yeah.
To get her to safety.
Yeah. But I mean, you can't intervene because that could very easily turn on you.
Yeah, right.
You know, you can't do anything.
Right. Just the whole situation is completely
Those people
fucked.
didn't deserve that.
No.
You know, I mean, it's just a whole cycle of
bad decisions.
And it comes down to this idea that if something is too good to be true, you got to figure that out.
Right.
You got to understand it.
Like, the idea of it always is better than what it actually turns out to be.
And it's the same thing. Like we talk about 90 Day Fiancé.
I was gonna say
it's the same thing with
in
that.
90 Day. Yeah.
I saw this play out in high school. I saw this play out in college. You have friends that do things to try to fulfill their fantasies that shut them down in their personal life.
Cheating
So do
spouses.
So do I.
Yeah.
There are these people who conceptualize something as complicated as love and try to put it into this perfect little frame. Fuck all to the red flags and all the things that are telling you no, no, no. All you want to see is what's stimulating your brain, making those chemicals fire off.
Well, when you're not actually, like, this kind of pertains more to 90 Day Fiancé than it does this situation, because who knows how well they would have done if they hadn't got caught. I don't know. I can't say for sure. But with that, it's always this huge idea of everything is perfect with this other person. Everything is going to be great. Like, I don't know who you are, so I get to put all of my ideals onto you.
Yeah.
And you're actually a whole ass fucking person who has feelings.
So
and
what
maybe,
the fuck when you don't fit here?
And like,
What
yeah,
the fuck?
like you're not a mirror of what I want.
So what the fuck? And I'm sure he was putting on for her.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sure that it was all it could have been until it went bad. I'm sure that it was great until it went bad.
I mean, it was bad on the whole.
No, I mean for them. You know what I mean? I'm sure she felt great about them until it was time to pay the consequences for that.
I mean, when you literally have nothing but you just go to work and then you go home and it's like, I'm gonna bust out this fucking inmate. How exhilarating for her to just be like, all right, we're in this fucking cop car.
Nobody ever said that, like, evil was not fun.
Sure,
Nobody said that evil things may or may not be enjoyable to a certain degree, but it's the toxicity of it all that will seep into you and just ruin you.
Yeah.
You will always pay for that. But there's also the saying of no good deed goes unpunished. You know, I'm sure she felt like she was doing a good thing for him. I'm sure she felt like she was liberating her love and seeing him. There's a way to wrap bullshit in a gold wrapper and make
or maybe she thought like he wasn't even like responsible.
Guilty, or he had been, you know, whatever.
There has to be something.
I don't know.
We'll never know.
We will never know. And I feel bad for her family and everybody that had to witness that situation and everybody that...
especially knowing her as a person and like her actions for the last 56 years up until that point, that just doesn't make any sense.
It
it's
probably
so
punched them right in the mouth. I'm sure they're still just shattered from it.
Absolutely.
So crazy, man. Crazy. And it was all over the news.
I did see people sharing that on social media.
Yeah.
And I just like...
Didn't
even look at it.
I did. I followed it because it started out as she was transporting this dude and he abducted her and he had a captive officer and they were like, oh God, what's happened to her? And I'm just like, dude, this is going to be a nightmare. And it's like, well, it's kind of looking like she helped him abduct her. No, it's kind of looked like nobody wanted to come out and say it.
Well,
it took like over a week for them to actually be like, no, 100% she was down for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while for that.
Maybe she had a lot of fun up until she didn't.
Dude, they were thinking that they were in Gatlinburg. They were like
just like that one that we watched. I don't remember the name of it, but it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
The lady who had the restaurant in New York. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
But yeah, I guess Gatlinburg would be a place because there's so much traffic of people going in and out
And
all
like
the time.
in the south, it's like, where else are you gonna go to if
You know,
you're going north?
I'm going to Gatlinburg. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, what a tragedy. That chapter, not tragic. That chapter's a great channel. Yes. If you guys are not subscribed to it, you should definitely subscribe to it. I found that channel a couple years ago. I was listening to it at work a lot, and it used to be a lot more of what he's doing now, where he's trying to make compilation videos out of certain things. He's doing a series where he's making women who did terrible jobs trying to get their husbands killed for hire, and like kind of a tier list, like this one happened and it was bad, and this one and this one. That's all in one episode. Okay. He's got a part 2 that just came out, so maybe we'll watch 1 and 2. But yeah, go subscribe to that chapter. Fucking wonderful content, and he's got a ton of it out now. It's similar to and in the same vein as Mr. Ballin. If you're into that kind of thing, as you can see, he does a very similar storytelling style. And both of them are very, very good. Yes. You should also, if you want to, support us. How could they support us?
You could give us a like on this video. You can subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And you can leave comments for recommendations down below.
Right there.
Or you can join our Discord and let us know there.
All great opportunities for you to give us feedback. Let us know what you want to see, and let us know we're doing a good job, because we need your validation. Please validate us. We also live stream. That's something that we do. On Mondays, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be live streaming. Nikki and I will be doing something. Right now, she's playing Resident Evil and Biohazard number 7. And I'm suffering the consequences of her screams. I've taken tequila shots. I've eaten jelly beans that are disgusting.
Yes.
I've eaten sour things.
And now you're on to...
Now, this is the 4th episode, right? Yeah. That you've done with that. So now I'm on to eating...
flavored crickets.
I don't even want to say it.
Sour cream and onion. Bacon and cheddar.
Yep.
And salt and vinegar, Chad's favorite.
I won't even eat salt and vinegar potato chips, so I may barf on that one. On Thursdays, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online. This last time, Nikki joined me for that, and so did Nate from Renegade Media Group. I'm not sure if we're going to keep doing that. I don't know what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah, what video games do you want?
I think we should leave Thursdays kind of loose. Yeah. And if you want to give some info on games you would like for us to play on Thursdays, we're open to that.
Yeah.
Community game night.
The last Thursday of every month. If you want to join, you can do that in our Discord. You can sign up. There's a place for that. But we play games with our community once a month, and whenever you play, if you want, you don't have to, but you can actually talk with us in the live chat.
You can talk with us in live chat. You can screen capture your own stuff, make videos out of your interaction with us and put it out there. Would be great. You can also... on our Discord, plug your own YouTube channels or whatever streaming you're doing. You can share your art, your music. We really have a great community that's receptive to a lot of things. So if you want to join that, you know where it's at, because Nikki done told you. But for this video, I think that's going to do it.
That's going to do it. See you guys.
Bye.